Before we begin today's episode, we wanted to announce that we have officially launched our Patreon, where you can find exclusive content, engage with North Coast, and get access to perks like recordings from live shows, freestyle tips and tricks, and Patreon-only episodes. Whoa, you're getting access. For top-tier patrons, we'll even have pre-order links for live events and virtual freestyle lessons. Sign me up. So visit patreon.com/North Coast Podcast and help your favorite hip-hop improv team thrive. Hello and welcome to the North Coast Podcast. We are here in Sweet Tea Studio recording with amazing creatives, musicians, comedians, and then turning their real life stories and ideas into improvised hip hop songs. I am Douglas Widick.
I'm Ralph Jean Pierre, also known as Precious Gorgeous.
Hello, I'm Sydney Duncan.
Hey yo.
I'm Dr. Brick.
And in the studio, we have one of the most talented freestylers I have ever seen perform. He performs all over New York City, the country, I believe the world, has toured all over, and performs with Freestyle Fitness, which I believe you founded, and also performs with FLS Academy and on all sorts of amazing shows. Welcome to the studio, BS!
Thank you for having me, y'all. I'm really excited to be here.
Hell yeah, we're excited to have you. I'm excited to hear you go in because you're one of the most, I mean, whenever I hear you rap, I'm just like, oh my God. It's like watching like someone ski down like a double diamond blacks freestyle. Yeah.
Doug, flattery will get you everywhere.
Yeah. But you truly are an impeccable freestyler. So it's an honor to have you in here today.
Thank you, fam. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And so I want to hear all about what you're up to, and I want to hear a lot more about Freestyle Fitness. So I'm woefully uneducated on it, and instead of coming in hot, I wanted you to tell me a little bit more about it. So tell me more about Freestyle Fitness. What's going on with that?
Oh, I would love to share, man. Freestyle Fitness is a business I started. Some people called it an initiative, and I kind of like that. It's a freestyle rap initiative where basically we got a cipher with a lesson plan designed to be a cognitive workout, like for your brain. So I run with the fitness metaphor like pretty hard. I mean, like my sessions, I have people standing the whole time. You know what I mean? Like we're moving the whole time. So there's like a little bit of a literal fitness component. But okay. I like to think of freestyle as two main avenues. You've got this kind of like aerobic kind of lane where you're running down a field like naked, expressing, exposed, expressing, right? I think about like that's almost like running or jogging. And you got to get comfortable with that. And on the other end, I feel like you got like technique focused drills, skills, like muscle isolation, right? Like punchlines might be like bicep curls or something, right?
Yeah.
Flow changes might be like our squats.
Yeah.
And once you've got enough practice, the goal is to synthesize these two things so that you have the safety in the space to express if you feel like it. You have the safety to just, I don't want to share about this vulnerable thing right now, so I'm gonna grab a bunch of colors and throw them at the wall and just see what happens. And then my theory is after you do both of these things long enough, you get comfortable in this place and these muscles kind of develop. You're doing both at the same time. So you just start expressing, and then you trust the technique to fill itself in. And next thing you know, your freestyle fitness is like freestyle CrossFit.
Hey,
yeah.
Okay. Wow.
I
That's
love
super
that.
Cool.
Yeah, it almost thinks like I think of it like dance, like especially like with ballet and modern, like there's a huge technical base, but at the same time you're learning like, how does this music make you feel? How does this movement make you feel? How do you feel today? And it's like when you have that, that's so vulnerable. Like when I was teaching dance, like some dancers like improvising would be petrifying and they would cry and you'd be like, oh no, you're so good. You have the technique, but like exercising the expressiveness and the technique together. Like then when you get to improv, like you've seen dancers cry, like you're like, wow, I have the language part and my expressive part together. I think that's awesome. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love it. So you're really hybridizing skills, expression, and then reps, and people just getting in there. That's really cool.
Nice, man.
And
Thanks.
so how many different offerings are on the table right now? Like, are you doing a weekly class? Are you doing multiple weekly classes? How does it work?
I've got multiple virtual 4-week groups called weeknight workouts.
Okay.
90 minutes meets excuse me, Mondays, Thursdays for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Cycles back through to about every month based on travel schedules and other things.
Okay.
So that's been like a really cool virtual thing that started with the pandemic.
Yeah. And is it a one class commitment? Like people can just drop in or?
Drop-ins are Friday nights.
Okay, got it.
And then this is like a 4-week commitment.
Oh, okay. I see.
4-week commitment. Yeah.
Cool.
And then in person's been easing back into monthlies since this summer. Had a really, really dope one yesterday. But like out in the wild, like weather permitting, we're in the park. We're in an outside space where real world variables can and often will interact with us, which ultimately it's like moments you can't create, but you can sometimes help facilitate through, or sometimes facilitating through is just backing off completely.
Right.
Yeah.
And allowing the rhymer, the person, participant, like to just like grab it. So yeah, physical in-person drop-ins for folks in NYC, virtual for folks all over the world. I got people in Florida, Kentucky, California,
Nice.
Berlin, Scotland, London. So it's
so cool.
everyone
That's
learns
awesome.
from
And
everybody.
so they're staying up to like 2 a.m. to rap with you? The people in Scotland?
A lot of those will hit me for the one-on-ones, and we'll
Okay.
schedule those at a more like Euro
friendly time. Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's so badass. That's fantastic.
Thanks, man. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And the people, I think of it as a small mom and pop bare knuckle box kind of thing. The
Yeah.
people are beautiful. They're so
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah.
A lot of them been rocking with me for a while, and they're at that point where they've got the broad strokes, the fine lines, they've got some textures, they've got colors, and they're painting with their words. And like style is started, like individual styles are developing, which is such an exciting as just a facilitator.
Yeah,
and
that's the
giant
runner's
nerd.
high of teaching is seeing people get better.
Yeah.
You see someone have a breakthrough and you're like, oh my God, all my energy that I spent with this person is totally worthwhile.
Right.
Everyone sitting at this table right now is a teacher. I just realized.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's
Where
funny.
are our apples?
Yeah.
It's the progress. It's watching the progress. That's
Yeah.
that's one of the mantras of Freestyle Fitness. Practice makes progress.
Practice
feel-
makes progress. I love that.
Yeah.
That reminds me of a quote. I have a coach, and she was like, "A virtuoso is a master of the basics." I had
Yes.
never heard that,
Yeah.
and I was like, "You're like one of
Whoa.
those quotes that stopped me in my chair."
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, "Cause that's why we're due like yes and for fucking 10+ years." Sorry, excuse
Yeah.
my French, but it's like we're still working on the fundamentals, and we've had people in rehearsal. What?
We were just talking about the big fundamental.
Yes,
Just talking about Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
Tim Duncan, the
Yeah.
basketball player.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know sports.
I barely do either, but
yeah.
but yeah. I'm sorry. You
No,
were
no, I didn't have anywhere. Wow, you're leaving BS hanging
Sorry.
hard. Also,
I
this
don't
is your
mean
water,
that,
by the
yeah.
way. I poured this for you so that you wouldn't be parched or rude.
Duncan
That's
shoe.
hospitable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone at the table is a teacher. Everyone at the table is a teacher. Everyone at the table is a teacher. Everyone at the table is a teacher.
Got a seat at the table, making you able, teaching you something, making you stable, making you supple, making you pliable, giving you lessons. It is definable how you can find where your success at, where's your heart at, where's your stress at. Do you understand? Hey, did you get that? Oh, you're gonna see your growth right when you step back.
Everyone at the table is a teacher. Everyone at the table is a teacher. Everyone at the table is a teacher. Everyone at the table is a teacher.
I have something to bid. Ha! I'm in the back. I'm the bad kid. I don't want you to succeed. I want to see you bleed. Yeah, I don't know what we need. I don't care about your textbook. I would rather take a look. Don't you see that I don't give a fuck about what you want to teach? I just want to eat really loud snacks. I'm here to attack.
Everyone at the table is a teacher. Everyone at the table. Okay, when you're a teacher, you're not only a teacher in the college, you're leading your student to themselves, to their self-knowledge. It's not like you're implanting knowledge in their brain. What you are doing is planting seeds inside a plane. You are like a farmer, but they gotta choose to grow them. When you show them books, they gotta choose to show them. They gotta go in, but you're the leader of the company that is the company where they are learning philosophically. Everyone is a teacher. Everyone at the table is a teacher. Everyone at the table is a teacher. Everyone at the table is a teacher.
Teacher is an interesting term. If it were up to me, artist educator is the appropriate word. They say that those who can do and those who can't teach, teach gym, and I think that's quite a reach. I think it's a little pedantic, so let me go and argue the semantics, because I think it's a little bit different when we put it into practice. There's a difference between someone who rocks it and does it as a hobby. That's great. You can do that and don't feel oddly. But if you do it and you make the art and play your part, and you have other things in your resume with which you take part, that heart that you put in, that soul that is given, all of that concedes into the wins which lead to winning, and all of the things that you express onto your people, participants, friendticipants, and all of those amigos, when you reach them and they see you directly through the peephole, then you can go and progress, and then that we're all equals.
Everyone at the table, an artist educator. Everyone at the table is an artist educator. Everyone at the table is an artist educator. Do not be a hater to the artist educator.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brick.
Okay. All right. Now I just like how we're talking about like the teaching stuff, and like how you're teaching freestyling to people. I think it's really cool because like that's sort of how we met, and like everybody is a teacher. Like when I started like learning how to beatbox, very little known story. Like I like joined this program called Beat, and like there was a whole program for you to how to teach you how to teach kids how to beat, or like whatever your art discipline was. So it was rapping in your case, it was beatboxing in mine, and I was taught by Mark and Kayla, old North Coast alum, and and they were also there, but that's where I met this guy. And
nice.
so it's funny how like
at Mark and Kayla's workshop.
Yeah, it was a Teach the Teacher, I think that was called, something like that. Like, well, it was a long time ago.
It was. I will never forget that moment. We were leaving, I think it was a library workshop.
Yeah.
We're in the Bronx, in like way out there in the Bronx.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, bro. Like,
Yeah,
dude,
like, I
your
remember
clicks
that.
are so powerful, and I was like, but yours are so fast.
Yeah,
Show me, and you like showed me how to do it, and it was this moment where like, it stayed with me ever since.
That was so long, because it's funny like it's funny you were looking at me like that, because at the time I had not been beatboxing for more than a year at that point, and I was just trying to figure out things to do like with beatboxing, and so that's why I found him. I found Beat, I found that org, and it was just like, yeah, no, that was, yeah, you really threw me back with that one. I was like, don't remember that moment, but yeah, I mean, like, going from that, like, how did you get into teaching? Well, how did you get into like teaching? Was it through Beat, or like you don't have to go into like why Beat, or it's just like, yeah, and then like maybe through that, like why rap specifically?
For sure. So I've been rhyming for long. I'm a baby faced old head. I've been walking around this block here for a while. So the art part has always been a part of what I do. Freestyle has always been a part of what I do. Early part of BS was like a lot of group work, and then from there, kind of like recording artists kind of things, with the freestyle always happening. Sometimes you got to pay bills, and I had always been informally teaching people how to do stuff. Like I'm a rollerblader. My first job was at a skate park teaching lessons and doing summer camps and things.
That's so cool.
You know how to do like the old school 70s rollerblading with the spins and stuff, like
the more
skate.
like jams.
Like disco jams.
I like jump off stuff.
Oh,
jump on
wow.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, even at 35.
Wow. You
Why'd
are
you
baby
whisper
faced
that?
old.
I'm so many more years older than you. Why did you whisper that?
You're only as old as your ability to process new information. That's my story, and I'm sticking to
Okay.
it.
Stick to
I
it.
am dead.
Not,
But,
you're dead.
Ralph is currently
We have
deceased.
so much more work to do together.
Oh my gosh.
But I was a formal teacher for a little while. I taught second grade dual language, English, Spanish. My mom's from Cuba, so I was raised bilingual, English, Spanish. So like I'm a language teacher. My pedigree, and especially in education, like I was doing it like elementary ed, and then pivoted into doing like, I was like partway through my degree, and I was able to pivot into English ESL, like language learning, language acquisition learning for adults. And so a lot of that basis goes into freestyle fitness and being able to take all of these pieces and put them together. But I left formal teaching. It was just like, okay, this isn't for me. And then a homie.
You say that like with a little bit of exasperation. Did formal teaching drain you a little bit?
100%.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the teachers. I hope we got some
Honestly.
teachers
Shout
watching.
out.
Educators.
Yeah, artist educator.
Educators. And just educators are cool too. You
Yeah.
know, like there's a lot of cool stuff happening in that space, but it's a unbelievably demanding. I mean, I was doing full-time grad school, full-time first year teach. I'm in a program telling me one thing. The school I'm working for is telling me another thing. What I'm learning in graduate school is telling me a different thing.
Right.
And I just lost
Grad
my
school
nerve.
for education.
Yeah.
Holy,
This was NYC
moly.
Teaching Fellows, so it
Okay.
was like a really intense program, and I'm learning to do all of these things in 2 languages at the same time. Damn. So
Yeah.
it was, even being like a fluent speaker.
Yeah.
It's a whole other vocabulary set. It's a whole bunch of just other areas of knowledge, and teachers, the weight of so much is put on teachers.
Yes.
Like, I can't expect my student to be ready to go when I don't know if they've had dinner and they probably haven't had breakfast.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
That
like
was
the
something
reason
I was
that,
going to... Oh, so sorry.
Oh.
It's just what I was going to say is like, I feel like when I was learning how to teach in college and just like starting to teach, all of these systems that we're learning are in vacuums. It's like best case scenario of the very privileged child that we're writing this curriculum on. So you learn this curriculum, and then the lived in experiences are loaded into this kid.
Yes.
And you really, as a teacher, like I think the best teachers are the ones that take it case by case. What is this child's life 24/7, and what's the best way to learn for that specific person?
100%.
Ooh, shall we scooch it up a little bit?
Oh yeah.
Scoochie, scoochie.
More room for your legs.
I also just love your passion because with teaching, like I truly feel that educators should always have that much passion. Like I truly care for you to learn, and I want to like have different abilities and different types of like what is the best way for you to receive information, and I want to figure that out as an educator so that you can succeed, but not me. This is how it's supposed to be, and you're gonna learn my way. That
I like
Yeah.
the Ferrian like pedagogy. Shout out Paulo Ferri. Like, but this idea of like the facilitator, I don't even like teacher even, but like the person who provides the structure, just being another, like you're not the gatekeeper of knowledge.
Right.
You are a super interested party with a bunch of other people who are maybe not as interested, but could be, you know, and just kind of like, what is it called? The problem poser.
Ooh.
Like you are posing these questions.
That's very Socratic, and it's kind
love
of
that.
yeah. So, do you
Problem
like the
poser.
Socratic method, or do you feel like that's too old guard?
I mean, I like, one of my major issues with formal teaching is I feel like I'm selling something to someone, and I don't believe in the thing that I'm selling.
Whoa.
So that was like a
Yeah.
real, like, you know, I had to back away from that. So like with my own things or things with like FLS Plus or other like workshops out, I mean, obviously the context is important. What is the population that you're working with? I work with like incarcerated youth, special needs populations, like grown folks who want to rap, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like kids, like what does it demand from there? And I feel like in some situations you can go into this kind of Socratic circle of just like dialogue. I'm big on experiential learning. Like I think doing and just failing and failing and failing until you fail better, and then eventually
Right.
feel better about failing, and then later just feel better.
Yeah.
Because you're doing. But I think having room for discussion is important. Like it's not something I do all the time, but in the last week, coincidentally, in my Freestyle Fitness classes, we ended up like going through a few like big videos, breaking them down. Have like some of them, I'm just like, this is the 3rd time I'm making you watch this video. What do you see now? And the discussion popping off, turning into like, what are crutches? Like, what are ways around like rap crutches? Like, if it's everyone has like my take home message was like, you can be Harry Mack and like the 1% of freestyle rappers in the world, and you are going to have crutches. We are all flawed, imperfect, beautiful beings.
Right.
And this is an expression of that. I feel like
Yeah.
I'm navigating.
that's-
I'm veering off the question. But
No, that's I.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah.
I don't have no crutches. I put everyone else on crutch.
Oh boy.
I used to be a Chaz Kangas.
Oh, he's unbelievable.
I'm not a slam poet. I slam poets. Shout out Chaz Kangas.
I miss him.
That's good.
Yeah. That's all incredible. I think everything you're saying is incredibly enlightened, and the best educators really are facilitators. They facilitate an atmosphere of learning. I had this music instructor that changed my life because he made me curious about music. Instead of like, this is how you play this note, this is correct, this is wrong. It was all like, all right, oh, you messed up. That's just feedback, right? Failure is feedback.
Right.
And he kept music curious and exciting. And to this day, when I sit down to play guitar, it's never like that feeling. It's because of him. There's curiosity to enjoy there.
I think curiosity is the secret sauce, because I think as a facilitator and educator, your number one job, yes, there's the skill component and transferring of knowledge, sure, but you are a person by the nature of your being who has this torch lit. And your job is to keep others' torches lit. Because ultimately, if you're curious and it's inviting you in, you're going to keep coming back, which is going to make you better on its own.
Right.
That alone will make you better. Like I tell people, there's no shortcut for the work, but the closest thing you can do is have a bunch of homies you rock with. So you're not doing work, you're not practicing, you're just hanging out with your friends.
Right.
Because unfortunately, there's some teachers that like, okay, their light is lit, and you know they're trying to light another, and it's not working. You see when it's lit on someone else. We're all candles, and we're all burning out eventually. Yikes! Not me getting morbid, but like, yeah, if what you're teaching isn't resonating, you'll know. And I think that the burnout and like some teachers are just like, but I have this curriculum, I have this, what I have to get through and all of that. I just remember like I was teaching high school ballet, and every high school girl walked in and you could tell the whole class was going through it. It was just like, you could tell on their faces that it was like finals week, homegirl's boyfriend, this. And I just like closed the doors, closed the windows. And I was like, all right, everyone sit in a circle and stretch and let's just check in. And they were all just bawling, and just like I feel like with ballet I have to like come in and just wipe the slate clean. I'm like, no, bring everything with you, express how you feel through the work, but also like if you like, it's also cool to have an educator where like, no, if something that severe is going on in your life, like let me know, and like let me talk to your parent, or like let me talk to me, you know, like being a person and a teacher, facilitator, whatever you want to call it. Like we're just two people navigating the world.
You gotta meet each other where you're
at. And I have the skill set and I would love to teach you, but I'm not gonna like disregard the fact that you're a person going through something, and you're also in high school. High school girls, woo, woof.
It is a time.
She was like, "My boyfriend." I was like, "Okay, well, girl, you 16. Like, it's gonna be okay."
How do you know?
Yeah, she's like, "But Derek." I'm like, "Derek, literally, no, girl, you can do better than Derek." I don't even know who Derek is. My bad.
Everything's dramatic when you're 16.
Everything's dramatic when you're 16. Everything's dramatic when you're 16.
When you're 16. When you're 16.
I don't know who she thinks she talking to. I'ma go over there and give her a good talking to. Bop, bop, boof, about to hit her in the chest. Girl, you giving me all kind of stress. You don't understand, I'm doing my best. You don't understand that tomorrow I have a test. You don't understand that my dad lost his job and I got a paper route and my bicycle's flat.
Everything's dramatic when you're 16. Everything's dramatic when you're 16. Everything's dramatic when you're 16. When you're 16. When you're 16. I rode my bike and I was feeling emphatic, but then the wheel fell off and I was feeling dramatic. I did not have lunch, you know I'm feeling a Speedo. I went to swim practice, but I'm feeling not neato. I need a burrito and I'm feeling sick like this. I feel like I'm just gonna cry, I need a kiss. I will have a boyfriend, girlfriend, and I'm feeling so crazy. And every teacher's mad at me, they told me that I'm lazy. Oh, everything's dramatic when you're 16. Everything's dramatic when you're 16. Everything's dramatic when you're 16. Oh, everything's dramatic when you're 16.
I get in the shower and I sing, yeah. 16 candles, Molly ring, what? Doing what I gotta do, I'm not being a fool. I follow all the rules. And oh, is that Derek walking out of school? Oh my God, Derek drives me in hysterics. The dopest thing that I've ever seen in America. Derek, I just want you. You are my whole world, but you're gonna have to stop dating that girl.
Everything's dramatic when you're that girl. Everything's dramatic when you're that. Everything's dramatic when you're
16. Everything's dramatic when you're 16.
Oh my God, Stacy, I saw your phone. You need to leave my Derek boyfriend alone. Oh my God, you think you're so damn cool, but you know what? All the girls think that you just drool.
Okay, listen up, Griselda. I can talk to Derek if I wanna. And then you walk around in that shirt starting to flaunt it. But you don't look good in Hollister like a twit. I think you're a gigantic bitch.
One thing though, I like this shirt, and honestly, Stacy won't tell you, but you smell like dirt. And honestly, you think you can twerk, but honestly, your ass needs some work.
Well, I smell like dirt. I'm gonna hit you with my arm. The reason I smell like dirt is because I live on a farm. I've got pigs and cows and dogs and deer. That's what I do. Smell like dirt, I make it clear.
Oh my gosh, you really need to move. Honestly, love, you're just a boob. But I'm the popular girl, and I'm gonna give you a swirl. And just to tell you, you make me want to hurl.
Molly Ringwald. Job Dark's Polly.
Oh my gosh. I think I would cry if at 16 someone told me I smell like dirt.
Yeah.
You know what? Mom, let's just do homeschooling.
When I was 16, someone's mom told me I smelled musty one time, and it like stuck with me to this day.
And you're like, 16 things that
yeah. I was like, oh God. Yeah.
Damn.
I think one of the cool things that I didn't know about you when I met you, and then they eventually figured out is you're really big into rollerblading. We talked about this earlier, but like that's like and when I'm just passing to your Instagram, that's like all you do. Like I know you're a insane rapper, but that like I can see that's a cool thing. Can you talk more on like the rollerblading? It's like it's a world I just don't know about. Yeah.
I could wax philosophically about rollerblading for a very long time. It was my first love. I used to live once upon a time in Alabama for a hot second. And at that point in time, it was the roller rink. And so this was the quad skate era before inline skates were a thing.
Right.
I'm dating myself again.
So you love the movie Roll Bounce.
Roll Bounce.
Which is more about ATL, but like, yeah.
I haven't seen Roll Bounce.
Oh my God,
actually.
it's so cute.
I go back to Brink.
Yeah.
Oh,
Brink. Brink. Yeah.
This is a soul skater.
Yeah.
But it's probably the first thing to save my life. To be honest, you know what I mean. Just going through being a really angry teenager, having like a creative outlet that I didn't realize for a long time was a creative outlet. You know, I realized years later, I'm like, oh, I'm interpreting architecture different than like 95% of the world. Oh, that handrail, I'm gonna hold that. I'm like, no, I'm gonna jump on it. I'm gonna jump on. I'm gonna slide down it, and I'm gonna make it look cool. So I grew up basically in a skate park. I mean, first job I got, I was there so often they just offered me one. Like,
that's awesome.
Yeah. So now being like in my mid 30s, and I hurt my knee in my early 20s, so I thought I was done for a while. Started back up again early 30s, and now it's been interesting. Like you didn't see a lot of inline skaters until the pandemic. And then it just, I mean, there were people always doing it, you know, all the different styles. And not what I do is typically called like aggressive skating or aggressive inline. So like the stunty kind of inline skating. But you've got like that jam style, the dance style. You've got people on flat ground with cones doing like crazy swivel turns through. Yeah. Some folks doing more like almost like ice skating type movements on flat ground, like all kinds of different sub-disciplines. But
so do you do it like more recreationally, or like are there like competitions, or just like, or just that really just your outlet to just kind of like
it's a pure joy outlet? But I mean, I'm not opposed to like competing. Like I don't think I would like rank, but like for 35, your boys got ups, you know.
There you go. I would love to watch a competition, just like have a burrito and just watch people
skate.
I'm like, well, this is so freaking cool. Like, there's also a really great side of TikTok with rollerblading and all of that, and I'll just like watch it for hours.
Do you draw a distinct line between the word rollerblade and roller skate? Like, what's the difference there?
So in contemporary nomenclature.
Okay, educator, facilitator.
Yes. The curriculum.
Listen. I'm aiming for Harvard. We'll see where we land. So roller skates traditionally are your quad skates. Okay. 2 wheels on the front, 2 wheels in the back, like probably the original, right?
Okay.
Pre-inline skate.
The ones that Abraham Lincoln wore around the, I don't know, the OG. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. Probably. Sorry, go ahead. I'm being dumb.
Good. is inline skate, like they're in line. So like rollerblade. So technically, rollerblade is. I'm really getting into. Shout out to my skate heads. Like rollerblade is a brand, and it was just the initial brand was so successful that it just became like tissue is a Kleenex,
Kleenex,
right?
yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
Kleenex, but it's whatever brand.
Right.
It's like it's a rollerblade. So rollerblade, inline skating, quasi synonymous terms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel
The
that.
names are muddy.
Yeah, no, I feel that. Like I play Ultimate Frisbee, and like it's called Ultimate Frisbee, but the word Frisbee is actually copyrighted by the brand Whammo, like the Whammo, like Whammo.
Whoa.
So like it's actually we actually call it a disc. Like a
Okay.
frisbee, like a disc,
Interesting.
but like the sport itself is called Ultimate Frisbee.
Yeah.
So I
That's
totally
every
think-
company's goal is to be
Yeah.
unanimous. It's
Yeah.
like, let me call an Uber. It's like, okay, opens Lyft.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
But like, sorry, I just feel so strong because like they copyrighted it, and those frisbees are very bad. Like they're just so whack. I hate them.
Capitalist wet dream.
Like,
Late stage capitalism.
I just realized something, which is that we've worked together on some music stuff.
Yeah.
And I just realized that you rap like a rollerblader.
What does that mean? Oh, tell me more about
Okay,
what does that mean.
okay.
okay, all right.
Because
I agree with this, by the way.
the way you see the beat and the percussion, the way you're approaching it is because I've thought about this. It's like, oh, you have a very interesting way of seeing how you're gonna deal with the rhythm and interact with the rhythm. And I just realized like, oh, you're somehow thinking about it on the same level. Like, this is how I bump off of this, and like I want to enter like this, and you know what I mean. You have it's almost like you can see the beat as like a physical structure.
It's an obstacle.
Yeah.
But like one to be like symbiotic with, not to be like counter.
Yes.
Yeah.
But to like flow with. And I feel like the skate park, like growing up in the skate park, that affects my teaching style too. I didn't realize it. Like I'll even tell people like, oh, you stomped the landing, you know, and they just finish their verse. You know what I mean? You laced it. Like all of it comes in this idea of not to like pull it back into the teaching.
Yeah.
Please feel free to pull me back.
No.
But this idea, like, so one of my most impactful skate park memories, young B in the Jinko Jean era.
Ooh.
Big pants.
Jinko
Fear
Jean.
Factory, Stained,
Yes.
Disturbed. Yeah.
I'm in like 6th or 7th grade. You
Yeah.
know, I'm at the skate park. I'm
Is
little.
your hair like really long with the swoop?
No, I kept it short.
You kept it short. Okay, cool.
There was a hot moment with like just a little frost in the front.
There you
Because
go.
My,
Yep,
my
I
parents
see the
wouldn't let me
picture.
dye the whole
Oh, so
thing
you
blue.
were more on a ska train a little bit, or no?
Man,
Punk?
I funked with some ska at the time,
Yeah.
like not crazy heavy,
Yeah.
but like 6th, 7th grade, you know, whatever my cousins were listening to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But,
So Sublime. Got it.
yeah.
Yeah. That's what the ultimate cousin band. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I went for a thing, ate it like dumb hard, and I was shook like this. And I go sit down, and this guy's name's Tom was teaching me at the time, like trying to help show me. I was like, "Are you good?" They're checking in on me. And then this skateboarder pulls up, and this is at a point in time when like rollerblading and skateboarding was like, like now it's cool now, but like it was like a thing. So this was the older looking dude, beard, tattoos, like the gnarliest dude in the park who would just zip around and like come up to me like, "You okay?" And I was like, "I think so." He goes, "All right, good. You're not falling. You're not learning." Bong, and drops back in the ramp. And I was just that moment has affected everything I've ever done since. You know, if you're not falling, you're not learning.
Gotta get in there.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Worst injury of my life was in a roller skating situation. There was a trend at the time to take your brakes out.
Oh.
Do you remember this?
Yeah, you gotta take them out.
So it's still a thing. Okay. I have not roller skated since this. So I took my roller skate. I don't even know what to call them anymore.
These?
I
these?
took the rubber. Yeah. So the inline. So roller blade, and I took the brakes out. And I don't know how I fell, but when I fell, the sharp part of where the brake was supposed to be sliced my entire leg open. So much you could see the fat of the leg, like the total epidermis had been cut open.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, so I haven't really done it
Absolutely
since.
not.
But my goal is to do it again someday and like have like my headphones on and like no shirt and like be listening to Diplo and be like happy.
It's a vibe.
Yeah, I want that for myself, but I need time.
I could teach you.
Yeah, we'll do some sort of let's do it. I'd love that.
Rolling rap meetup.
Yeah.
Wrap me up.
Perfect.
Ooh,
We'll just put
that
on
sounds so
Tribe
much
Called
fun.
Loud. Yeah.
Wait, do you have like a big scar?
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
boy. Oh.
How interesting.
This is for our YouTube watchers.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So you saw like your whole entire calf.
And my dad is a doctor, so we went to his office and he stitched it up.
That's
It's kind of
nice.
crazy. We
Go
went to
dad.
the ER first.
Oh, of course.
And
Yeah.
they were like, a couple hours. And I'm like sitting there with literally a large
Oh my
gash
God.
on my leg. Yeah. So that's
Little Dougie.
Yeah, I
Just
know.
like-
I know. But
That's funny.
I think that the joy from it though is like out of control. Like, do you feel like there's a parallel? This is going to jump on what you were saying between the level of Zen immersion. Like you can only be focused on this thing while you're doing it. Because when you're freestyling, it's difficult to focus on anything else. Do you feel like it's the same with roller skating?
Flow state, hyper focus.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think there are a lot of parallels. I mean, even going back to like growing up in skating and like skate videos, and people have parts and they pick the music for the parts. Like that's how I learned about so much underground rap, was through this medium, you know. Thread me back into the question, Doug. I had something I wanted to.
Do you feel the same flow state freestyling
Thank
and
you.
skating?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, some in certain settings, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. There's my hat over
Ooh,
here.
nice
This is
hat.
this blading camp. Unbelievable, amazing transformational experience. It's a 6-day thing in Malaga, Spain, on the southern coast. You got quad skaters, rollerbladers, and the first year I went, I was there, and it just blown away by how much it felt like a cipher, but the kind of cipher where everyone's invested in the whole. And everyone's contributing their energy to the center. So like that energy reservoir just becomes bigger for every person. And I'm just watching that same thing happen in the skate park. Again, like celebrating progress. What level you're at, what you're trying is less important. But like you're doing, I see you and you went for it. I'm going to show you, I'm going to throw all this energy and love your way.
That is truly. I feel like I keep jumping in, but I'm just like, I understand you. I feel like in every single genre of art, there is this energetic thing that happens with improvising in each art, where like I've been so blessed in my life to be able to like, I've learned how to improvise via singing and with an instrument, saxophone, and then with dance, and now with improv. And like every time, like the best moments in every single art form I've had is where everyone is improvising and you get to see someone's soul and their energy and how it is spontaneously in a group of people. And I saw it in music first, and then when I learned it in dance, like there was like this one workshop I got to do where we were improvising for 3 hours, no mirrors, and they're like, get ugly, truly find who you are, and you have to keep practicing that energetic release of improv to find like kind of like wake your soul up to find like what is your energy, what do you want to say without any bounds, without anyone saying this is how it should look or feel or be, and then seeing other people's versions of that and then finding it in yourself. That's incredible. And then with improv, like seeing that, it's just like I want to just keep finding my own energy and other people's energy, and getting to see that is so inspiring, and it keeps me going on like bad days.
You've clarified something for me, which is like I've always said, as an artist, like I'm in terms of improv, I'm an improv lifer, and I think, and I've always said, you just really helped me clarify for myself why I say this. I do improv because improv to me is like a very strong metaphor for creativity in totality. Like just being creative, like improv is like it's like what they say music also is like the purest art form. Like improv to me is like the purest expression of just what being creative is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you get to practice what that is in the moment. And so like there's no time to structure it in a way that you think will be perceived a certain way. So it's truly you. And I think it's so therapeutic to the relationship. Like I think of my soul as someone, like it's me, but like I think there's like the outside being and the inside being. And I feel like improv really connects the two. And then you don't have time to think about how you're being perceived. I think it's so liberating. I could truly talk about it for hours. I think it's freedom.
Yeah. That's so funny because I was just thinking, as this is probably something I shouldn't say, but like having when I have to freestyle, to me, it always does feel like I'm at work now. I have to do this because freestyling for me has always been very I have a rough relationship with freestyling.
Really?
Because yes, I do. Because whenever people ask me to do it, like inside of a scene, it's like I can understand the structure. It's like we're gonna now expand on the themes of the scene, but like in a lot of contexts when people wanted freestyle, just feel like this is like we're treating it like a parlor trick now. And for me, freestyling is always like just like a way to practice writing. That's what it always has been for me, like just a way to make me a better rapper. Same with improv. I only improvise to make me a better actor. That's the only part of it I'm interested in. The becoming a comedian part is a byproduct of that. But I was only ever interested in becoming a better actor. So, but I don't have that feeling about improv though. So I don't know. It's a funny relationship I have with it because for me it's so private, and not private, but about growth and just making myself better. And the fact that people just want me to do it then because it wows them
I feel that, yeah.
is like it's not bad. I'm always trying to find my own way to orient how to understand that. Spectacle is a beautiful thing. And
but you have to
That's a
keep
good
it
word.
holistic and connected to you instead of it being like
juggling. That dance is tough.
Yeah.
Like how do I stay connected to what is joyful about it for me?
And the shared story of everyone partaking in the experience, right? It's like that intersection, because I've seen a lot of folks, it's like they rap really dope, like a really dope rapper, but after about 15 to 30 seconds of dope raps, most people, unless they are rap heads, they go, oh, okay, you can rap, you can beatbox, you can, okay, cool, so what?
right.
Which is where I feel like that connectivity of like the authenticity, the authenticity of the person freestyling, right, has to tap into something.
What's happening?
Yeah.
Right. Which could be like stakes that you create, I think, or it could be like stakes that are understood. Like I feel like you have like North Coast, like an ensemble show. There's a sense that the stakes are kind of already established in the structure of and the expectations set in.
Yeah.
Versus if someone's like, "Hey, you freestyle now," and you're like, about what? In what way? What do you?
Right.
You know, I've got this kitchen and I've got so many different appliances. Which one would you like me to use, please?
Right.
Just blew my mind because I'm thinking about right now. I'm like in this. And this is something we'll probably end up talking about. I want to say this now, like BS and I for like the last year and a half. Been working on like songs that I've been A&Ring with him.
Yeah, it's been really fun.
That's so cool.
And we're thinking about how to promote those, and also just as friends, we're just kind of sometimes spitballing how to promote just what BS is doing and what I'm doing. Like, how do you promote yourself?
Right.
I'm sure it's something that North Coast deals with. I'm sure it's something you deal with. Like, and I'm thinking a lot about like marketing and business, and like, which are very scary themes for me. But it's like,
amen.
Yes. Very scary.
But like the thing I keep running into is like, it's one thing to like this guy Seth Godin. He says,
I love Seth Godin.
He says,
Purple Cow.
It's great to do what you it's great to do what you love, but a professional loves what they do. And like, how do you take the thing that you love to do, or that you take the ability you have, the thing that you have that can solve a problem for someone else? How do you find the people who need that problem solved and make your work about solving problems for people who need problems solved, as opposed to just like, this is what I do, I want you to buy it? No, where can you find yourself to apply yourself to be of absolute service for people who need to be served, who have a need or a problem that they need solved?
Yeah, you said a great word, spectacle. And I think of it as like, there is a business side of what we do. And sometimes I'm like, okay, I know that I am going to be perceived a certain way on this show or this thing or this audition or whatever. But what I try to do is, okay, I know that for these certain things, this is what I have to do. But I try to leave these certain spaces, I just took the North Coast class this year because I truly just wanted joy. And I everything was becoming more businessy. I need to do this. I need to act like this. And I was improv, this thing that brought me joy, was now feeling like, okay, I need to market. I need to do these shows, blah, blah, blah. Need. And the joy was taken out. And then I'm like, okay, sometimes it's a spectacle, and then like other spaces, it's truly, this is for me. I'm going to do joy and expression, but it's hard to like put those two together sometimes.
The J to the O to the Y is my why.
Hey, J to the O to the Y is my why.
The J to the O
to the Y is my why.
Is your why.
The J to the O
to the O
to the Y
to the Y
is my why.
is my why.
I'm trying to find the place where I feel it. I'm trying to find the place where I'm brilliant. I'm trying to find the place where I expand. I try to find the place that is my jam. And it is that jam, is that jelly. Oh, it's shit like that. Oh, it's in my belly. It's making me feel full, feel good. I do it for my attitude and for my hood.
The J
to the O to the Y
is my why.
The J to the O to the Y is my why.
Okay, listen up, here's the gist. Spreading joy on this earth is my personal purpose. It's the truth that I live in. So this hook right here, it's giving me joy. I feel so good about it, boy. Girls and boys, everybody, I'm bringing noise. I really appreciate it. You know I'm going in. I want to make people laugh. I want to feel them with all of the vibes, all of the goodness. I want to go around and I want to feel like I am giving someone a little bit of breath. Their chest is alleviated. Yes, the J, the O,
To
the Y is my why.
Why?
The J to the O to the Y is my why.
Why? Hey, if you ain't got no joy, you can't be my boy. I'm serious. I'm gonna hit you head with a toy. Do you understand? I think you are annoyed. What I'm trying to do is honestly get that toy and then have that happiness. Ooh, you know I got that hair nappiness. But when my hair is big, oh man, my smile is wide as a cig.
J
To the O to the Y
is my why.
J to the O to the Y
Is my why.
If there ain't no joy in it, then you will not hear my voice in it. If it's something that I need to redefine, then that means it is probably not initially aligned. So if it's not aligned to me, then that means it's devoid. And then if it's devoid, you will not find the joy. So for me, I gotta go wherever I'll allow it. I trust my smile and move with it the fastest. My smile guides me. It's like my North Star. It lets me know if it's good for me, if that course is for the car, for the train, for the automobile. Doing whatever I've gotta do whenever it is fits the wheel. What is it that brings you joy? What makes you smile? What brings you past the void? And where you want to go? I don't know what the hell it's about. Hey, yo, all y'all spell it out!
The J
to the O to the O
to the Y
to the Y
is my why.
How do you spell it?
The J
Okay, so J.
O
to
the Y is my why.
Cooking and swimming and spending time with family and going on a boat when the sun's shining. It fills me with joy, you see. Everybody tell me what brings you joy. I wanna hear it over melody. I'm being sentimental, but I don't give a fuck. Yo, tell me what your joy is bringing.
Ooh, I be improv and rap, rhyme, and doing my thing. Creativity always coming up out of my face. Being up in my room or in rehearsal rooms, I'm always at jams. And you know I do it spontaneous. I run with no plan.
To the
Beagles. That's my joy.
Beagles?
Beagles.
Beagles.
If I see a beagle on the street, I will ask the owner if I can pet it.
That's my jam. Thank you so much, BS. Thank you. So where can people find you online?
TrustBS.com, trustbs@gmail.com. The only BS you can trust.
Hey.
I love that. Thank you so much for listening to the North Coast Podcast. You can find us at North Coast NYC on all social media, northcoastnyc.com, and don't forget to check out our Patreon for exclusive content. Thanks for listening.
We love you.
Thank you.
Lerv.